Good morning, children. I hope you all are doing good. This is the second video for the lesson 1. Lesson 1 is the globe. So, children, in this video, we are going to learn about latitudes and longitudes, lines of latitude, lines of longitude, equator, North Pole, and South Pole, and important lines of latitudes and longitudes. We are also going to cover about prime meridian. Well, so let's learn about latitudes and longitudes. So we need to know what these are. So latitudes and longitudes are the imaginary lines marked on the globe. What are lines of latitudes? Lines of latitudes are circles that run horizontally from west to east on the globe. These lines never meet each other, hence they're also called as parallels of latitude. Like if you look at the image here, you don't see any lines crisscrossing each other. They're just parallel to each other. So now let's learn what are lines of longitudes. Lines of longitudes are half circles that run vertically from north to south on the globe, and they're also called as meridians. If you look at the image, you have a North Pole which is flattened on the top, and you see a red line coming vertically downwards. And when the line of longitude comes directly under the sun, it is a midday for all the places on that particular meridian. So now let's learn what is equator. Equator runs around the middle of the globe, dividing Earth into two equal parts. That is, in the picture, you can make out the two parts have been divided. One part, the topmost part, is the northern hemisphere, and at the bottom, you see the southern hemisphere. It stands at 0 degrees latitude. The equator is the longest. The equator is the longest line of latitude. As you keep moving away from the equator towards its poles, the lines of latitudes become smaller till the close-up line points at the poles. So children, look at this image. As I told you all, as you move up, the lines of latitudes and the lines of longitudes, they become small as they come closer to the poles. If you look at the poles at the top, the North Pole 90 degrees north, you see the lines have come closer to each other. So children, look at this image of North Pole and South Pole. The latitude of the North Pole is labeled as 90 degrees north, which is on the top, and the latitude of South Pole is labeled as 90 degrees south, that is at the bottom. And apart from this, we have some major lines of latitudes. Those are the North Pole, Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Equator, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle, South Pole. So children, here are some important degrees of latitudinal lines. At the top, you have 90 degrees north, that is labeled as North Pole. Coming downwards, you have Arctic Circle, which is 66.5 degrees north. Then you have Tropic of Cancer, which stands at 23.5 degrees north. Well, the equator, as we learned, it is a line which will be dividing the globe into two equal halves. It is labeled as equator and it stands at 0 degrees latitudes. Coming downwards, you have Tropic of Capricorn, which stands at 23.5 degrees south. And then we have Antarctic Circle, which is 66.5 degrees south. And right at the bottom, you have South Pole, which is 90 degrees south. So children, now let's look at this. What is prime meridian? A prime meridian is a line that runs through Greenwich, a place in London, England. It is at 0 degrees longitude and is a starting point for measuring lines of longitude. If you look at the image, there's a line which is passing from the globe, that is from 90 degrees north to 90 degrees south. This is a prime meridian. And then this line is dividing the globe into two equal halves. That is, towards your left hand side, you see a western hemisphere. Towards your right hand side, you see an eastern hemisphere. And 0 degrees latitude is the equator and divides the earth into two equal hemispheres, whereas 0 degrees longitude is an imaginary line known as the prime meridian. I hope you understood the video. Thank you and you have a nice day.